his title right here. Oh, but instead, it is a supreme cutter off the top.
It of course saw the return of Jacob Fatu, who not only attacked McIntyre,
Jacob Fatu! And it was Drew who attacked and injured Jacob Fatu, and now Fatu has entered the fray.
but he also attacks Cody Rhodes.
Beat down on, oh my
Whoa!
God!
He just punched Cody Rhodes! Right on!
Oh God!
Well,
Take a look.
Drew McIntyre! Drew McIntyre!
This decision absolutely fucks though. WWE desperately needed to do something in this match. The stipulation for this didn't make it feel so 3 stages of hell-y. I'll speak more about their announcement heading into SNME, and of course the Royal Rumble at the end of the episode, because I have some huge predictions about what we saw in this show. But back to the top of the show in Germany, things kicked off with a loud reaction as per usual for Randy Orton in Europe, who would quickly be interrupted by Trick Willie in the Billy.
I don't know about Germany, but every other country around the world, they love some Trick Willie.
Trick instantly confronting a legend like Randy Orton and holding his own on the mic is huge. Trick gasses himself up and says to Randy, this is 2026, not 2006. Trick says he's doing what has to be done so he can brush up against a legend like Randy. Let's talk about it.
This ain't the year of the Viper no more. This is the year of Trick Williams. This is the year we are going to whoop that all around the world.
Randy says someone should have told you to never turn your back on the Viper, but I'll let that pass. And if it happens again, I'm gonna whip your ass. Trick slaps the mic out of his hand, and according to the timeline, someone in the front row took a bump, brother. Someone got hit in the face. But anyway, Randy lays out Trick.
Hey, how about that, Trick Willie? EDT.
Then The Miz attacks, and he gets another RKO.
Crushing finale. How about another one, Miz? RKO.
During Phoenix's entrance, Randy tells him to go kick
Hey,
ass.
Phoenix. The body control, the balance.
Oh wow!
And the springboard missile drop kick.
I really enjoyed this matchup, though. These two had a great chemistry.
Look at Phoenix. Would you look at him here? Ray Phoenix has turned things around for the win.
I know it's only been a couple episodes, but I really think they're doing right by Trick in the early going. I don't think it damages him to have been laid out by Randy because he held his own so well on the mic before that. Trick would sneak out with a win here, holding the tights on this episode of SmackDown.
Nice
But
catch.
instead, Williams, oh, what a great counter by Phoenix. Back and forth they go. Oh, and he does it.
Really great stuff, and I hope Trick gets a key spot at WrestleMania to continue this momentum. Same for Javon Evans, Obafemi, and Carmelo Hayes, who I think need to have huge manias this year. And I know I said I'd talk about it a little bit later on, but real quick, that fatal four-way that they're going to do at SNME, which I think will involve Trick Williams after he beats Cardona, I think that in turn is really going to help Trick establish himself further as well. So good stuff on the Trick Willie front. Then we hear from Women's United States Champion Julia and Kiana James. Julia is confident after winning back her title, and she says, I'm ready for Bliss's challenge.
Alexa Bliss, a famous champ, legend of the women's division. I will make an example of her.
Again, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I like that we're slowly picking up the momentum with Julia. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Damian Priest then calls his shot at the WWE Championship. Oh no. Then Drew McIntyre pulls up and reveals he has the very watch that Dusty Rhodes pawned off to pay for Cody's future. His plan is for more mental mind games to get Cody disqualified in the first fall. Then all he needs is one more fall to finally be WWE Champion again. Then we see Alexa Bliss on the phone to Charlotte, who isn't here tonight. She reveals that she didn't even know about her Women's United States title match until today. And listen, I feel like I'm not the kind of YouTuber to really single people out that I don't like. I mean, I'm not really a slanderous person. I don't really go after anyone in particular. But Nick Aldis, that's another mark against you on that fraud watch, my friend. What the hell are you doing? She wishes Charlotte a speedy recovery before being interrupted by Lash and Nia, where Alexa drops this interesting line.
Word of advice from someone who's been there? Drop this one before she brings you down. Now, if you'd excuse me, I have a match.
Could we see Lash turn on Nia before Nia turns on Lash? Also, the sell that Alexa had to the Arrivederci knee was wonderful.
Nice reflex crucifix pin. Arrivederci.
That shit reminded me of Ben Askren versus Masvidal. She was out. Julia would go for the Northern Lights bomb, which is counted into a Sister Abigail attempt. Shenanigans are afoot as Kiana James gets on the apron, and then Lash takes down Bliss behind the referee.
Having to be dealt with.
Wait a second.
Oh, she could have been a twisted Bliss away, but instead it's...
Julia would retain off the Northern Lights bomb, and I thought this was a very solid match.
Meanwhile, Julia, Northern Lights, and to put it away and defend.
Then after the match, Lash and Nia would lay out Bliss some more.
Nia set her up for an annihilator. Oh, and she delivers it.
You're not even the.
Oh, yikes.
Hey Nia, not for nothing, but I heard Deontay DDJ been talking mad shit about you, like mad shit, like you should annihilate him.
Yikes.
Then Chelsea Green interrupts Jordan Grace's official signing to SmackDown. She wants her rematch and wonders why Alexa got a title shot. And yeah, you're right, Chelsea. Why does she have a title match?
Exactly what I was talking about before, Nick. How I'm not going to be a diva like some of the other women on the SmackDown roster.
Why don't you watch your mouth and fix your tone?
Yeah, why don't you fix your tone, you bitch? There is nothing wrong with being a diva, okay? You're walking around like this is a slur. And Chelsea Green, in every way, apart from being on that show, is a total diva. All this makes the match, it'll be Fire versus Grace tonight. Then Kit Wilson holds the door and says Matt Cardona is the definition of toxic masculinity, so what are you gonna do about that?
Those are some valid points. Kit, just hold that thought. He shut the door on me. He shut the... You are toxic!
He is toxic. I say we put Aldis and Joe Tessa Snort into the Upside Down and move on with our lives. But anyway, then Cardona talks about his road back to WWE. He says he had a few options when he left. He could have faded into obscurity after being negative and bitter.
2, I could just coast off the Zack Ryder name for the rest of my career. Or 3, reinvent myself, bust my ass, and do whatever it takes to get back to WWE. And I chose number 3.
Cardona then runs into Cody Rhodes and says he came back to win the WWE Championship. And, listen. As a Zack Ryder kid, I would absolutely love to see him get that moment. I would. But in reality, the best he'll get is a 24-hour reign like he got with the IC title. Let's be real. Maybe he'll pull a Brian Kendrick and win it in a championship scramble for a minute. I don't know. Again, I would love if the reinvented Matt Cardona were to win the WWE Championship because I think it would be incredibly fresh and a nice end to his career. But is it going to happen? Then it was time for the MFT versus the Wyatt Six. Solo uses the lantern to distract Uncle Howdy as Tama Tonga picks up the win.
From the lantern.
Oh, the cutthroat! The cutthroat! That running elbow from Tama Tonga!
We see despair in the eyes of the Wyatts as the MFT stands tall.
8-man tag team match goes to the MFTs. That cutthroat from Tama Tonga.
I'm sorry, Joe Tessa Snore puts me to sleep. I'm so sorry. End of a big feud match, and you sound like you're giving a eulogy. Great. We then see The Miz, who speaks to Carmelo Hayes. Miz reveals he spoke to Aldis about a WWE title opportunity, so he plans on becoming a Grand Slam champion for a 3rd time by winning that and answering Melo's open challenge at some point. Then Dragunov also says he's not answering right now either because he's talking to Aldis about something different.
And packaging Alba Fire. And that
after about 439 losses to Cody Rhodes, after being booked like a complete jobber, after suffering through the horrible creative of Triple H, somebody finally woke up from a nap in a gorilla position. Somebody grew a few brain cells on that flight to Berlin, because we finally got an undisputed champion, and his name is Drew McIntyre! Well, it's about time, isn't it? I know Cody's somewhere crying, thinking about his title and missing it. Oh, you finally did it, Paul of Clap it up for him, y'all. Give him a round of applause. He finally did it. Finally put the title on Drew McIntyre. Well, that's the good news. Unfortunately, the bad news is he didn't bother making it on a flight to Berlin, showing how he could care less about Drew McIntyre being your new undisputed champion. He has yet to post anything about Drew McIntyre winning the title on social media, which is extremely weird. So we actually found out why at least one superstar couldn't make it to Berlin, because of a mix-up where it was gonna be at. And if you ask me, I think this was Triple H's problem too. I'm gonna show y'all this.
Hey, I just want to come on here and apologize to everybody. I'm not gonna make it for SmackDown. I've just been informed that I went to the wrong place for SmackDown tonight. It's in Berlin. It's not here. SmackDown is not here tonight. Just letting y'all know. This one might be on me. My bad. I apologize.
Oh, Paul Levesque. So that's what happened? You got lost with R-Truth at Burlington Coat Factory? Honestly, this store fits, because you being head of creative needs to be treated like a jacket in the summertime. You need to hang it up! Especially if you don't plan on showing up to work half the time. Man, this dude got the greatest job ever. Don't show up to work and get paid millions. Triple H used to mean Hunter Hearst Helmsley, but the way he's been operating recently, Triple H might stand for Hunter's hardly here. Oh, lazy Levesque. Hey, producer, cue his music. La la la, la 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 la. La 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 la, lazy Levesque. The booking is poop. Oh. Now to speak with some other people that's not hardly here, you got that one team. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, the Street Profits. But the way they've been getting treated in WWE, maybe they should change their name to the Discreet Profits. They've been getting kept away like a bad secret. You mean to tell me you couldn't book the Street Profits anywhere on this European tour? This makes no sense. You couldn't put them on Raw, Crackdown, NXT, Main Event, Speed, Evolve. You couldn't have backstage segments or vignettes. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't even get access to the corporate building in Connecticut. This is why I always tell people, you gotta watch your words. You gotta watch what you're putting out in the universe. Remember the Street Profits slogan? We want the smoke, we want the smoking. What happened? They got smoked! Triple H has put the Street Profits on the sidewalk. Now, speaking of wrestlers getting smoked, it got me thinking of Javon Evans, man. There's already some BS going on with the booking of Javon Evans, and it's like, oh my God, here we go again. It all started off when he had his big moment. He had his big moment in front of the bright lights, signing his Raw contract on a commercial break. And this is crazy, man. How does this company not know this could be the future of WWE, and it's important to book this man correctly? Then he goes and take a picture with Paul Levesque, looking absolutely petrified. They have him take a picture with a contract book with the old Raw logo on it, showing how much they could care less about this contract signing. On top of that, look at Javon Evans his NXT career, it's like, what did he actually win? They didn't put the NXT World Heavyweight Championship on him. They didn't put the North American title on him. They didn't put the Speed title on him. He didn't even win the tag team titles with anybody. You know, now I think about it, I actually agree with WWE in this situation, believe it or not. Oh, Bobby Monsoon, I thought you liked Javon Evans. I do. But we're talking about being the franchise player in WWE, and you gotta meet a certain criteria to be a franchise player. One, you gotta be a senior citizen to be a franchise player in WWE. You gotta be pushing 50, 60, or 70. Two, you gotta have a head full of gray hair or possibly even be going bald to be a franchise player in WWE. Third, you gotta be on the brink of walking with a walker or cane to be a franchise player. So instead of Javon Evans carrying the company into the future, maybe they'll be looking more in the direction of somebody like Ric Flair. Woo! This ad is brought to you by the Pirates in the chat. Go to BobbyMonsoon.com. Get your Ruthless Depression ad t-shirt. If you're sick of the BS in professional wrestling, if you're sick of the soulless billionaires taking advantage of the fans, show them you had enough. Go to BobbyMonsoon.com. Get the Ruthless Depression ad t-shirt. Then, now, and never again. Now, before we get into it, I want to highlight something serious going on with Elton Prince, one of the SmackDown stars and half of Pretty Deadly alongside Kit Wilson. Turns out that Elton's been dealing with a legit situation, one that ultimately required neck surgery. Back in May, Elton Prince took a bad landing in the ring that sent shock-like pain through his neck and arms, temporarily locking his hands, which led to 7 months of tests before doctors found the issue and performed a successful 2-level neck fusion. Now he's focused on recovery and being healthy for his family. Shout out Elton Prince. We never want to see any of the wrestlers injured, because at the end of the day, these are real human beings with real life situations, and wrestling is a dangerous sport that can have real life consequences. Shout out to Elton Prince, and I'm hoping for a speedy recovery. Now, Crackdown started off with Randy Orton making his return once again, coming out, cutting a promo about little to nothing, but that didn't matter. What matters is Trick Williams, Mr. Lemon Pepper Stepper, whoop that trick, came out. And I like the booking of this, and I said this on live, I'ma say it now. Whoever's the agent behind booking Trick Williams, good job. I know y'all like to say Bobby Monsoon's always negative, but no, I am liking how they're booking Trick Williams so far. He had the segment last week wearing the all-white chinchilla with Sami Zayn. I like the direction of that booking. Now this week in Berlin, him even being in the same ring as Randy Orton doing anything is a plus for Trick Williams. We need him in segments with legends. We need him in the ring with future Hall of Famers, so that was fire. The Miz comes out to attack Randy Orton, and man, it's set up for Rey Fenix versus Trick Williams. They have a solid match, and Trick Williams comes away with the win. This is what I'm talking about. Trick Williams hasn't jobbed at all. Trick Williams hasn't been a part of nowhere segments at all. Trick Williams has been kept away from the US Open Challenge. I'm liking everything going on with Trick Williams. Kudos to WWE Creative. You won't hear me say that much. But kudos to WWE or whoever's the agent or producer that's responsible for booking that man. I want to see it continue. Next, you got Julia versus Alexa Bliss, a match that means absolutely nothing. These are the parts of SmackDown where everything just starts to get boring, bro. Julia and the US title is just not there. There's no feeling there. There's no storyline that anybody cares about there. Alexa Bliss, it's good to see Alexa Bliss without Charlotte Flair doing the same thing Rhea Ripley and Io Sky's doing on Raw. It's good to get a break from that, but still, we got Julia winning. Nobody cares. The storyline sucks. And it goes on to another storyline that sucks. The Wyatt Six versus Solo Sikoa, Bachelor, Jeff Nye, Hakuna Matata. The MFTs in their panda paint that looks corny if you ask me. They beat Uncle Howdy in the Wyatt 6, and you know how they beat him? Uncle Howdy gets distracted because Solo Sikoa takes his little lantern, and it's like, oh my God, these are jobbers! How Uncle Howdy, you get super distracted off of this lantern, and if it really meant that much to you, how about you go chase Solo Sikoa for the lantern? You just stare at him taking your stuff, and the booking of this is so bad. Why are we still on this storyline? We've been on this storyline for 110 months. God, it reminds me when I wake up in the morning and I'm stretching and I'm yawning. He's stretching the storyline out. Stretch Armstrong. He's gonna stretch it out another decade. I'm just done with the Uncle Howdy character, if you ask me. I think he needs to just stay with Bo Dallas. Stay with the character that's on the vignettes without the mask. You got masks with some blonde and red locks. You look dumb. It's not hitting anymore. No one's not scared. No one's not compelled. And more importantly, no one's entertained. Next, you got Jordan Grace versus Isla Dawn or Iba Fire, whatever which one. I always forget which one it is. But she loses to Jordan Grace. Shout out to Jordan Grace. I like her debut on Crackdown. She has a run-in with Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is in desperate need of a baby face to defend or to have beef with or to have a hill with. Jade Cargill had the championship since 2025. It's a whole new year. And she has yet to defend her title. Next, you got Carmelo Hayes going over Shinsuke Nakamura in a match that nobody cares about, because nobody cares about the US Open Challenge. Oh, Bobby Monsoon, it was a banger. Who cares? This US Open Challenge is nothing but an excuse for Lazy Levesque to not book anything, and quite frankly, I am sick of it. I don't care about the US Open Challenge. Carmelo Hayes is out there looking like $1 million. He got the black jacket like Michael Jackson, the chains, the gold chains. He got the US title. Dog, all he's missing is some storyline to the booking. That's all Carmelo's missing. This US Open Challenge is a load of crap. Nobody is intrigued or entertained by this. Okay, you have back-to-back good matches. Click copy, click paste, click copy, click paste, click copy, click paste. And it's so predictable. They're not even changing up the competitors. Shinsuke Nakamura, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Matt Cardona, Ilya Dragunov. It's the same, The Miz. It's the same competitors. Now the last match, 3 stages of hell. Cody Rhodes losing to Drew McIntyre. This was the right decision. Drew McIntyre being undisputed champion, I'm all for it. I just wasn't too stoked about how it happened. It's like 2020, Drew McIntyre won in the COVID era. In WrestleMania 40, Drew McIntyre wins the title but only keeps it for 30 seconds. Now the third time him winning a big championship, it's in Berlin. Now, we couldn't even see it live. Millions and millions of people could have seen this live, could have been putting Drew over live, but nope! We have to see it with a VPN on Netflix or something like that, spoiling everything for majority of the people. Drew gets robbed of his moment again. But beggars can't be choosers, right? Drew McIntyre wins the title. I guess we all could be happy now. The 3 stages of hell match was fire. The Masked Man. It seems like Jacob Fatu took Justin Timber fake clothes and became the Masked Man. How many times you're gonna do the black hoodie with the mask? 100? Let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. Do you think Drew McIntyre will be going into WrestleMania as champion, or think he'll be dropping the belt probably at Royal Rumble or somewhere? Also, let me know what you think about Paul Levesque. Not bother getting on the plane to Berlin, getting caught up with R-Truth at Burlington Coat Factory, so, ironically missing Drew McIntyre win the championship. What type of heat does Paul Levesque have with Drew McIntyre? It makes no sense. Also, let me know what you think about Javon Evans. They're saying he's not a franchise player. That's a load of crap, man. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about that, though. Oh, yeah, as far as Raw on Netflix, Raw is coming on at 2 p.m., so we'll be live probably around 4:30. Raw is about 2.5 hours, so 4:30 p.m. Monday, I'll be live after Raw. We'll break that down, so make sure y'all tune into the live after that, man. It's Bobby Marsul, 215, like, comment, subscribe. Bye! After about 439 losses to Cody Rhodes, after being booked like a complete jobber, after suffering through the horrible creative of Triple H, somebody finally woke up from a nap in a gorilla position. Somebody grew a few brain cells on that flight to Berlin, because we finally got an undisputed champion, and his name is Drew McIntyre! Well, it's about time, isn't it? I know Cody's somewhere crying, thinking about his title and missing it. Oh, you finally did it, Paul of Clap it up for him, y'all. Give him a round of applause. He finally did it. finally put the title on Drew McIntyre. Well, that's the good news. Unfortunately, the bad news is he didn't bother making it on a flight to Berlin, showing how he could care less about Drew McIntyre being your new undisputed champion. He has yet to post anything about Drew McIntyre winning the title on social media, which is extremely weird. So we actually found out why at least one superstar couldn't make it to Berlin because of a mix-up where it was gonna be at. And if you ask me, I think this was Triple H's problem too. I'm gonna show y'all this.
Hey, I just want to come on here and apologize to everybody. I'm not gonna make it for SmackDown. I've just been informed that I went to the wrong place for SmackDown tonight. It's in Berlin. It's not here. SmackDown is not here tonight. Just letting y'all know. This one might be on me. My bad. I apologize.
Oh, Paul Levesque. So that's what happened? You got lost with R-Truth at Burlington Coat Factory? Honestly, this store fits because you being head of creative needs to be treated like a jacket in the summertime. You need to hang it up! Especially if you don't plan on showing up to work half the time. Man, this dude got the greatest job ever. Don't show up to work and get paid millions. Triple H used to mean Hunter Hearst Helmsley, but the way he's been operating recently, Triple H might stand for Hunter's hardly here. Oh, lazy Levesque, hey producer, cue his music. La la la, la 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 la. La 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 la, lazy Levesque. The booking is poop. Oh. Now to speak with some other people that's not hardly here, you got that one team. It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, the Street Profits. But the way they've been getting treated in WWE, maybe they should change their name to the Discreet Profits. They've been getting kept away like a bad secret. You mean to tell me you couldn't book the Street Profits anywhere on this European tour? This makes no sense. You couldn't put them on Raw, Crackdown, NXT, Main Event, Speed, Evolve. You couldn't have backstage segments or vignettes. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't even get access to the corporate building in Connecticut. This is why I always tell people, you gotta watch your words. You gotta watch what you're putting out in the universe. Remember the Street Profits slogan? We want the smoke, we want the smoking. What happened? They got smoked! Triple H has put the Street Profits on the sidewalk. Now, speaking of wrestlers getting smoked, it got me thinking of Javon Evans, man. There's already some BS going on with the booking of Javon Evans, and it's like, oh my God, here we go again. It all started off when he had his big moment. He had his big moment in front of the bright lights, signing his Raw contract on a commercial break. And this is crazy, man. How does this company not know this could be the future of WWE, and it's important to book this man correctly? Then he goes and take a picture with Paul Levesque, looking absolutely petrified. They have him take a picture with a contract book with the old Raw logo on it, showing how much they could care less about this contract signing. On top of that, look at Javon Evans' NXT career. It's like, what did he actually win? They didn't put the NXT World Heavyweight Championship on him. They didn't put the North American title on him. They didn't put the Speed title on him. He didn't even win the tag team titles with anybody. You know, now I think about it, I actually agree with WWE in this situation, believe it or not. Oh, Bobby Monsoon, I thought you liked Javon Evans. I do. But we're talking about being the franchise player in WWE, and you gotta meet a certain criteria to be a franchise player. One, you gotta be a senior citizen to be a franchise player in WWE. You gotta be pushing 50, 60, or 70. Two, you gotta have a head full of gray hair or possibly even be going bald to be a franchise player in WWE. Third, you gotta be on the brink of walking with a walker or cane to be a franchise player. So instead of Javon Evans carrying the company into the future, maybe they'll be looking more in the direction of somebody like Ric Flair. Woo! This ad is brought to you by the Pirates in the chat. Go to BobbyMonsoon.com. Get your Ruthless Depression ad t-shirt. if you're sick of the BS in professional wrestling, if you're sick of the soulless billionaires taking advantage of the fans, show them you had enough. Go to BobbyMonsoon.com, get the Ruthless Depression Era t-shirt, then, now, and never again. Now, before we get into it, I want to highlight something serious going on with Elton Prince, one of the SmackDown stars and half of Pretty Deadly alongside Kit Wilson. Turns out that Elton's been dealing with a legit situation, one that ultimately required neck surgery. Back in May, Elton Prince took a bad landing in the ring that sent shock-like pain through his neck and arms, temporarily locking his hands, which led to 7 months of tests before doctors found the issue and performed a successful 2-level neck fusion. Now he's focused on recovery and being healthy for his family. Shout out Elton Prince. We never want to see any of the wrestlers injured, because at the end of the day, these are real human beings with real life situations, and wrestling is a dangerous sport that can have real life consequences. Shout out to Elton Prince, and I'm hoping for a speedy recovery. Now, Crackdown started off with Randy Orton making his return once again, coming out, cutting a promo about little to nothing, but that didn't matter. What matters is Trick Williams, Mr. Lemon Pepper Stepper, whoop that trick, came out. And I like the booking of this, and I said this on live, I'ma say it now. Whoever's the agent behind booking Trick Williams, good job. I know y'all like to say Bobby Monsoon's always negative, but no, I am liking how they're booking Trick Williams so far. He had the segment last week wearing the all-white chinchilla with Sami Zayn. I like the direction of that booking. Now this week in Berlin, him even being in the same ring as Randy Orton doing anything is a plus for Trick Williams. We need him in segments with legends. We need him in the ring with future Hall of Famers, so that was fire. The Miz comes out to attack Randy Orton, and man, it's set up for Rey Fenix versus Trick Williams. They have a solid match, and Trick Williams comes away with the win. This is what I'm talking about. Trick Williams hasn't jobbed at all. Trick Williams hasn't been a part of nowhere segments at all. Trick Williams has been kept away from the US Open Challenge. I'm liking everything going on with Trick Williams. Kudos to WWE Creative. You won't hear me say that much. But kudos to WWE or whoever's the agent or producer that's responsible for booking that man. I want to see it continue. Next, you got Julia versus Alexa Bliss, a match that means absolutely nothing. These are the parts of SmackDown where everything just starts to get boring, bro. Julia and the US title is just not there. There's no feeling there. There's no storyline that anybody cares about there. Alexa Bliss, it's good to see Alexa Bliss without Charlotte Flair doing the same thing Rhea Ripley and Io Sky's doing on Raw. It's good to get a break from that, but still, we got Julia winning. Nobody cares. The storyline sucks. And it goes on to another storyline that sucks. The Wyatt Six versus Solo Sikoa, Bachelor, Jeff Nye, Hakuna Matata! The MFTs in their panda paint that looks corny if you ask me. They beat Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six, and you know how they beat him? Uncle Howdy gets distracted because Solo Sikoa takes his little lantern, and it's like, oh my God, these are jobbers! How Uncle Howdy, you get super distracted off of this lantern, and if it really meant that much to you, how about you go chase Solo Sikoa for the lantern? You just stare at him taking your stuff, and the booking of this is so bad. Why are we still on this storyline? We've been on this storyline for 110 months. God, it reminds me when I wake up in the morning and I'm stretching and I'm yawning. He's stretching the storyline out. Stretch Armstrong. He's gonna stretch it out another decade. I'm just done with the Uncle Howdy character, if you ask me. I think he needs to just stay with Bo Dallas. Stay with the character that's on the vignettes without the mask. You got masks with some blonde and red locks. You look dumb. It's not hitting anymore. No one's not scared. No one's not compelled. And more importantly, no one's entertained. Next, you got Jordynne Grace versus Isla Dawn or Iba Fire, whatever which one. I always forget which one it is. But she loses to Jordynne Grace. Shout out to Jordynne Grace. I like her debut on Crackdown. She has a run-in with Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is in desperate need of a babyface to defend or to have beef with or to have a heel with. Jade Cargill had the championship since 2025. It's a whole new year. And she has yet to defend her title. Next, you got Carmelo Hayes going over Shinsuke Nakamura in a match that nobody cares about, because nobody cares about the US Open Challenge. Oh, Bobby Monsoon, it was a banger. Who cares? This US Open Challenge is nothing but an excuse for Lazy Levesque to not book anything, and quite frankly, I am sick of it. I don't care about the US Open Challenge. Carmelo Hayes is out there looking like $1 million. He got the black jacket like Michael Jackson, the chains, the gold chains. He got the US title. Dog, all he's missing is some storyline to the booking. That's all Carmelo's missing. This US Open Challenge is a load of crap. Nobody is intrigued or entertained by this. Okay, you have back-to-back good matches. Click copy, click paste, click copy, click paste, click copy, click paste. And it's so predictable. They're not even changing up the competitors. Shinsuke Nakamura, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Matt Cardona, Ilya Dragunov. It's the same, The Miz. It's the same competitors. Now the last match, 3 stages of hell. Cody Rhodes losing to Drew McIntyre. This was the right decision. Drew McIntyre being undisputed champion, I'm all for it. I just wasn't too stoked about how it happened. It's like 2020, Drew McIntyre won in the COVID era. In WrestleMania 40, Drew McIntyre wins the title, but only keeps it for 30 seconds. Now the third time him winning a big championship. It's in Berlin. Now, we couldn't even see it live. Millions and millions of people could have seen this live, could have been putting Drew over live, but nope! We have to see it with a VPN on Netflix or something like that, spoiling everything for majority of the people. Drew gets robbed of his moment again. But beggars can't be choosers, right? Drew McIntyre wins the title. I guess we all could be happy now. The 3 stages of hell match was fire. The Masked Man. It seems like Jacob Fatu took Justin Timberlake fake clothes and became the Masked Man. How many times you're gonna do the black hoodie with the mask? 100? Let me know in the comments what y'all think about that. Do you think Drew McIntyre will be going into WrestleMania as champion, or do you think he'll be dropping the belt probably at Royal Rumble or somewhere? Also, let me know what you think about Paul Levesque. Not bother getting on the plane to Berlin, getting caught up with R-Truth at Burlington Coat Factory, so, ironically missing Drew McIntyre win the championship. What type of heat does Paul Levesque have with Drew McIntyre? It makes no sense. Also, let me know what you think about Javon Evans. They're saying he's not a franchise player. That's a load of crap, man. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about that, though. Oh, yeah, as far as Raw on Netflix, Raw is coming on at 2 p.m., so we'll be live probably around 4:30. Raw is about 2.5 hours, so 4:30 p.m. Monday, I'll be live after Raw. We'll break that down, so make sure y'all tune into the live after that, man. It's Bobby Marsoul, 215. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye!
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the first Jim Cornette experience of 2026. We're all another year older and deeper in the same old shit. But today's topic, brain damage, and people that have it. And joining me for all this and more, Hawaiian Brian, the podcasting lion, the king of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network, Mr. Co-host to you. His brand is being the brainiest Brian, the great Brian Last, everybody.
Aloha, Jim. A pleasure to be here once again for a brainy edition of the experience. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on things we're getting caught up on today.
You can't wait. I can't talk. I haven't done this for 2 weeks now. And see, I've proven once again my old adage, the old saying, it goes for almost anything. How could I miss you if you won't go away? Well, now I've gone away and missed the show. And now I'm back and 10 pounds lighter, as that's an old promo line from 1976. But I'm back, baby, on the experience here, and we have so much to catch up on. Of course, the variety of people who've been dropped on their heads and or who have long exhibited signs that they may have been in the past dropped on their heads. But Brian, you know, the people, the cult of Cornet members, they just love it when I keep them up on the weather from around here in Louisville. You know about my weather reports.
I would say that we probably have the most weather-conscious wrestling audience out there because
that's
of these
right,
segments.
and we have a number of meteorologists that actually follow me on Twitter and listen to the program for the various inside information they get here. And I've been talking about in November and December how the weather's been so shitty here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's snow and cold and bleak and windy and everything. Well, I'll have you know that over Christmas week, Brian, we said, by the way, hopefully everybody had a great Christmas and New Year. We had a wonderful Christmas dinner here on Christmas Day with Stacy's folks and exchanged the presents and blah, blah, blah. And that was just lovely. And then just 3 days after the Sunday after Christmas, what was that? 28th? December of 28th is
December
what I'm
28th.
saying.
That's right.
Yes. Well, we set a record. Guess what the temperature was in Louisville, Kentucky at 5 p.m. on Sunday, December 28th?
60 degrees.
75 degrees.
Wow.
Guess what the temperature was 12 hours later at 5 a.m. on Monday morning?
60 degrees.
24.
Oh.
We had a 51-degree temperature drop. I think the all-time record for any period of any 24-hour period here in Louisville is like 56 degrees or whatever, years and years ago. And in between that temperature drop, Brian, came the cold front. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever seen a severe thunderstorm with no thunder and no lightning?
Well, without thunder, how could it be a thunderstorm, would be my question.
Exactly. But by God, we had it. Sunday night, they'd said it's going to be windy, and it had been windy all day, and the wind gusts 40, 45 miles an hour. They said this front's going to come through, but we have no thunderstorm fuel. Even though it's hot, we don't have the Zabada. So there won't really be any organized severe weather. Bullshit. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there watching TV, and up pops Mark Weinberg on WDRB, my weather guy. He's the man, baby. He'll tell you what the dew point is up fucking somebody's ass in a fucking crowded theater. They break in. The weather service has issued for this line, this cold front coming in, severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible tags on it. And the wind is coming. And there was no thunder and no lightning. It was brief, heavy rain and high winds. And 10 minutes and boom, it's gone by, right? But then it's after dark. So I look out all the windows. I don't see anything disturbed. I'm like, okay, we got past that. Next morning, The sun comes up. I look out the back window. Brian, remember when that giant poplar tree about a year and a half ago turned over sideways out of the fucking ground?
Yeah.
100 feet tall, it just laid to the size of a fucking battleship. 25 feet away, a maple tree. The trunk of it's so big, 2 grown men could barely reach around it. And one of the oldest trees left on the property has just broken off at the ground and gone the same exact direction, like 20 feet over, and done the 7-10 split in between 2 other trees, thankfully, and come to the rest at the foot of a mulberry tree that it just popped a couple of branches out of. This thing is fucking 75 feet tall. And truth be known, if somebody had said, we got to take one tree, which one would you pick? Because this one was old and I knew it. And I was thinking about having the top taken out of it anyway, because I didn't want it to break off and fall, even though it wasn't really dead. It was just a stalk up there with a little foliage, but the bottom was all green and everything. So I just had the fucking tree guy out this morning, and there's $6,000 to remove this giant 25-ton fucking obstacle from my backyard. So,
do you ever eat any mulberries off the mulberry tree?
And no, I don't. But I would run you around the mulberry bush for asking if. No, I used to eat. We used to have some nice blackberry and blueberry bushes in the back that we would. When I was little, my mom would go back there and get some, and we would have some berries and things. But that was years ago, and they haven't made it. They're gone. They're long gone.
Well, back to the winter.
Along with this giant $6,000 fucking tree. Long gone. But it's so that, and now it's back to being, it's cold. It's been cold, and it's going to warm up the next couple of days. And then the same thing's going to happen. A cold front's going to come through, and it's going to be windy. Like, fuck. And my thing on the computer, my little weather thing down on the bar, rainy days ahead. That sounds like a song we ought to, rainy days ahead. It's going to be nothing but gloom, doom, despair, and agony. Oh, me, deep, dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony. Oh, me.
Well, now there's a dark cloud over my head.
Well, you ought to get the doctor to look at that. Maybe they could fix that. If you've got that thing following you around, there may be some kind of surgery they can perform.
A dark cloud in the vocal form, like your thunderstorm would have thunder.
Well, we established that I sing in a special key all my own. A lot of people can't keep up with it. But while we were on the Christmas break, Brian, independently of each other, you and I have begun to think alike. Sort of like the old married couple, where we've been around each other too long. Independently of each other, we both watched a documentary TV series, limited series, whatever the fuck, on the streaming television. And then you wrote me and said, oh, you got to watch this. It's great. And I wrote you back and said, I just watched it. And it is, what service is the documentary series Selling Superman on? Do you remember?
I think it was Amazon Prime, if not Netflix, but I think it was Amazon Prime.
Well, it's one of them that I've got to have to watch the wrestling. So the Prime Video with the little swoosh that says that means it's Amazon, right? Because they swoosh people. Is this correct?
They do, in fact, have the trademark on the swoosh. I was looking to see if I could find where it's on Amazon Prime. That is correct.
Okay, well, there you go. So swoosh on over. Selling Superman and it's been out, I guess, for a year or so, and I had not heard anything about it, and I don't think you had either. But it's like a 4-part documentary series on this guy and his a couple family members and some immediate friends that came into possession of his father's comic book collection. And the guy who did the documentary, for blessing or a curse, he was a friend of the family. So he started at the very beginning. He knew about this thing before anybody else did, and he was documenting it. But because he was a friend of the family and not really a comic book collector, although I don't know the answers to the questions that I wanted are able to be had, because apparently this guy's father was he was mentally diagnosed, or after the fact possibly diagnosed with, he had something going on.
I think they said Asperger's, but he was also obviously an accomplished contract lawyer.
Well, he was an accomplished fucking secret agent is what he was, because this guy had assembled this comic book collection over a period of, I guess, probably 40 years or whatever. And it took over the guy's whole life. And these kids were brought up in the house, and they talked to the mother, who was the wife of the guy, who said it affected our whole family, because the more that he got and brought home, they didn't really know what was there, and they didn't really know what he was doing or where he was getting it from. But it took over the basement, and then it took over a closet. It took over another room. And then he didn't want to leave the house, the guy, because he was scared that somebody would come and get the comic books. And he made the kids swear when they went to school, don't tell anybody about the comic books. And it was like a dark family secret, only instead of some kind of porn dungeon in the basement, he had comic books. But what I wanted answered was, where did he fucking go to get all of these comic books? The guy dies, the family starts trying to figure out what's going on, and they had 300,000 comic books. And Brad, that's the number you heard, right? Plus they had sports cards and other type of things, but 300,000 comic books.
Yeah, that was another thing they just kind of threw out there. There were also toys and sports cards, so that's a whole nother part of the collection they really didn't dive into.
Yes, but here's the thing, and I mean, the only thing I can compare that to is at my height, when I had all the comics I'd ever had before I'd sold anything, I had probably 14,000, including the coverless and the old grummy classics illustrated, right? Just all the direct. This would be over 20 times that. And not only that, but the content. I'm sitting there as they're at various points leafing through the varieties of books. This was golden age through the 90s. I guess in maybe 2000s, he didn't stop until he died. But also multiple copies, high grade issues of stuff that wasn't even everything. Everything. And I know for a fact, because I lived through it and we've talked about it. This guy, the reason why I was selling Superman was the title, because the 2 prize books in his collection were copies of Superman #1 and Batman #1. And the Superman #1 graded at a 9.0. And I get, well, let's go ahead and say it now. And they sold it at auction for $3.5 million, the one book out of 300,000. But even in 1972, a Superman #1 in any condition would have set you back a couple of $100. Remember, I've mentioned the 1970 chance I had to buy an Action Comics #1 for $400 from good old Howard Rogofsky. But not only you couldn't You couldn't really find one in a 9.0 even in those days for that money. And maybe they didn't know because the guy just left and came back with shit. And the kids and the family was never included. So maybe they didn't know where he got all this, but where in the fuck, even in the 70s and 80s? And did they ever say what the guy did for a living? Because his son apparently is really well off, and that's why he was able to rent the place to store this and take care of it and all that stuff. But what did this guy do?
Oh, he was a lawyer. They said he was a contract lawyer.
Okay, that's a contract lawyer.
That's how he had all the money for all that. I mean, when you say he had multiples, like
stacks.
Imagine like any comic you would want from the 60s or 70s if all of a sudden they pulled out a stack of them, and many of them appear to be mint condition. I mean, it's insane. It was insane. And the son's well off. He said that. Also, maybe on the gas, I don't know. But the son's well off.
Yeah, I think he is.
And they not just got the space, but they kind of built a deluxe storage facility with security and all sorts of things because it's an invaluable collection.
Yeah, well, it's a storage unit looking facility type, but they've got like a warehouse with customized shelves and the security cameras and the climate control and the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's my fucking 12-year-old goddamn dream come true, right? But again, this guy had to be going and buying not just books for a collection, but stock. Because when the kid that helped me grade my marbles and DCs 20 years ago, he had worked for what at the time was the biggest comic shop in town. And he said that my collection was as far as back issues went, was the store, and the store's back issues was a collection. I had more than they did, specifically of back issues, not only the Marvels, DCs, but everything. This guy had to be going to comic shops and buying the stock. There's no other way that he could have done this.
Well, at one point, I think in the last episode, when they had the son talk with they found a couple of the guys who used to work at the comic book store in the 80s that he was aware of. And they thought that the owner may have bartered with the father for legal work at times. Like, hey, can you do this for me in exchange? Here's this case of giant size X-Men #1 for you to have. Just cases of comics.
But see, no, there's so much golden age that I was looking at also, and obscure shit that I saw from the 50s that I don't, again, to assemble, there's dealers that have 300,000 books, the mega dealers, back issues in their arsenal, but not this quality, this level, this condition. And I don't know how, and again, to keep it secret from the family for all of that period of time, to where he had the good stuff was in a little custom built closet that was behind a fucking false wall. And
a false wall that had a bookshelf in front of it filled with comics.
Yes. So I'm anybody else, it would have been a documentary about finding people in the basement, but this guy had the rarest comics in the goddamn on the planet.
See, but that's one of the weird things that there's no answer to. It's one of the big things that the son is kind of searching for. Why did he do it? Collecting is something, you and I understand, and other people who listen to the show can understand, whether it's a small collection or a big one. When you collect things, you do. But sometimes you think, well, one day my kids will get it, or one day I'll donate it, one day I'll sell it, whatever it is. It didn't appear there was any end game. And, there was one guy who tried to tell the son, your father saved it for you. Obviously, it was for you to find it and you and your family to sell it and share the love or whatever the fuck. And the son didn't even believe that. He said that wasn't my dad.
Because he'd been told all his life, don't tell anybody about this shit and stay away from it. And, but I'm again, even if he wanted to be a collector, but didn't want to share it with the family or whatever, he couldn't get to most of what he had because it was just packed in this house that was crowding them out. That's why the wife divorced him, right? And he got crowded out. But you know, it had to be some kind of obsessive thing where I'm just going to accumulate all of these things, even if I can't ever get to them because the other things are in front of them. But I'm just, again, as somebody who I probably would have started collecting comics around the same time as this guy. I think when he died, he was probably a little older than me, but you know, I remember what it was like trying to find before the internet and before the mainstreaming of the hobby to find shit like that. And it was very hard. And I guarantee you that he had some of that golden age shit, especially by the 90s or well before, because even I don't care if he was Johnny Cochran, he couldn't have afforded a lot of this shit, no matter what he did, and keep it secret from the family. Where did these hundreds of thousands of dollars go last year, Bill? So this, I'd loved if he had saved receipts like Jack Pfeffer for every time he bought something or made some kind of deal. That would have been insane. But
what do you think of what the Sun's doing in terms of selling what he's selling from the collection at the same time that he's buying things and adding to the collection, and there are certain things he won't sell? They are, you know, they found different sellers to cover different areas, including an auction house. What do you think of what they're doing to sell the inventory they're selling?
Well, Harley Yee is a comics dealer that's been advertising in the Overstreet Price Guide for years and years. As nice as he's like a 4'9" little round-faced fella. I think he was kind of being nice to the two fellows that he met, that he was trying to consign a lot of the what they call run books. It's like these are books that people want to complete their runs. They're not key issues or major collector's items on their own, but if somebody's trying to get 1 through 100, they want number 72. And some of the lower price stuff, I think he was being nice to those people because they looked like they were giving a lot of effort out. With some of the bigger stuff, you know, a guy like the Harley Yee or some of these other major Overstreet advertisers, they do go to all the big conventions and they're right there when people are on the spot looking for shit in person. But the only way to do the major books anymore is by an auction house like Heritage, or I think Metropolis Comics has done major auction business with these books that are worth millions of dollars, because you can't, it's got to be a worldwide auction with a known platform, because you can't get 5 or 6 people that are willing to spend $1 million or more on a comic book in the same place, the same time in person. And you can't just do that on fucking eBay unless you're an idiot. Didn't Logan Paul spend $1 million on something on eBay? He's an idiot. But you can't, do that if you're legitimate. So you got to split. That's the thing that I ran into. It was like, a lot of people would have bought my entire collection, but they would have only given me 20 or 30 cents on the dollar or whatever, because where are you going to immediately go and turn around 10 or 12,000 books? Not even golden age like this shit. So this guy may not live long enough to sell all of those books, but what do you need 54 copies of Tales of Suspense 58 for?
That's where they got me. It wasn't even seeing like the rare issues or the issues that as a kid I was like, oh, I wish I had that. It was just the stacks. When it was just piles of issues. But it's astounding. Tales to Astonish, maybe I should say. And
yes, it's astonishing.
But it's a really good 4-part documentary. And again, they're still out there and they're still selling comic books, and they have their one last thing about all this.
and also, and we didn't mention this main son that's doing this maybe have inherited some of his father's mental makeup because he was about to have a breakdown over the process of going through all of this.
Well, he almost had a breakdown when the filmmaker dropped Superman #1.
Yes.
In the case. And that's what I was going to ask you about. What are your thoughts on, as someone who has collected and sold, just the whole grading process and comic books in cases, and just what are your thoughts on, obviously it's a necessity, it's part of how things are sold today, but what are your thoughts on all of it?
The grading process is always been necessary because you've got to have some kind of standard to attach a value. Is it in good condition or very good or fine or whatever? And I've mentioned before in the olden days, good, fine, and mint, even in the first Overstreets, was a $1, $2, $3 spread. Good, dollar, fine, $2, mint, $3. And, that was the way it was for quite some time. And then they started developing the 0 to 10 numeric grading system where you get a 9.6 or a 9.8 because the chipmunk that ate the corner only bit with one tooth or whatever, right? And then the slabbing where they, put the book, whatever, in the plexiglass sleeve, which if it's something incredibly valuable, yes, for an investment, the slabbing and the minute grading and the professional grading and everything is worth it because people then feel more confident about paying the money, especially sight unseen, or even if it's in person, they know what they've got exactly. But at the same time, you can't open the goddamn book. You can't read the book. You can't, even if you're being careful. And even if you can't just smell the book, even if you don't want to open the pages, you can't touch it. That to me, then it takes, collecting has always been for fun because you like the subject, and investment if you're spending money, but that things are going to appreciate. But the slabbing, it takes it all the way just to investment without any collecting for fun. So that's, I have a few slabbed books that people have given me, but I never had any of mine done. And then when I sold them, I knew that the people that bought them were going to go and fucking slab them, but that was none of my concern at that point. But it just, again, it's pure greed and commerce, Brian, is the whole fucking deal. But if I had a 9.0 Superman #1, I would have slabbed that son of a bitch because I'd have $3.5 million right now and you and I wouldn't be speaking.
Was Superman #1 always bigger than Batman #1, even at Batman's peak in popularity, which probably surpassed Superman's in some respect until the movie came out with Christopher Reeve?
Well, but back up again because, yes, while Superman #1, I believe, and I'm willing to be corrected, I don't have photographic memory for every Overstreet price guide for the last 50 years, but Superman 1 was usually more expensive than Batman 1, but Detective 27, which is the first Batman, was more expensive than Superman 1, but Action 1, which was the first Superman, was always the one that was nudging out Detective 27. So it's been neck and neck there, and then you can throw in some fucking, really rare, timely stuff, the Captain Americas, the various, Marvel, what came to be Marvel characters, but they never, the Amazing Fantasy 15 was the first Silver Age book that really got into the Action 1, Detective 27 fucking price stratosphere that I'm aware of.
Well, this has been the Comics Corner.
Well, you know who else has been cornered because he's not a stand-up comic? We go from selling Superman to tugging on a Nature Boy's cape. I want to say at the start of this, because so many people have flooded the Twitter waves, sending us these things and asking. I've always I've been a fan of Ric Flair since I was a fan of wrestling as a young child, a young whippersnapper. And from the start of working with Flair, he's the one that recruited me in the Midnight to work for Jim Crockett. He gave me my first booking job on their booking committee. And I learned all kinds of stuff there. And he made me and Jim Ross the permanent commentary duo on the Clash Champions specials. So I learned a lot there on commentary. He's done all kinds of things for me. So I'm not trying to dogpile on Ric Flair. But these are self-inflicted wounds, Brian. These are unforced errors. These are unfortunate things that he is doing to himself that I can't see that there wasn't options, that these things did not have to happen. There was an option here that we wouldn't be talking about this right now, and that nobody would be talking about Barf and his friends right now. Have I confused the people with what I'm talking about yet?
Possibly. You haven't exactly said it, what we're about to talk about, but
Ric Flair has spoken out in public again when he shouldn't have. And this time he did it. He videotaped himself doing it and then sent it out. And people are laughing at him over it. And I don't blame them. But I just wish he wouldn't do these things. I wish it didn't have to be this way. But in the words of Downtown Bruno, Mama says it bees that way sometimes.
See, you know what part of the problem is? The Ric Flair you worked with. And again, the public persona was different than the private guy, but even the private guy may not have been where he is today.
He wasn't.
But Ric Flair, with all the partying and everything else, he was a composed speaker and a good representative. And I actually have a little bit of audio I want to play for you for a second, because this just went up a few weeks ago. I saw it. Someone sent it over to me. It's Ric Flair on TNN promoting a WCW event, but just listen to how he's talking.
Now, the big fight, do you call them fights? I guess you do.
Yeah, wrestling matches.
The big match is on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And who is the guy that you're going after?
Barry Windham. He's the reigning NWA World Heavyweight Champion right now.
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous, but I've prepared hard for this match, and I'm ready Sunday. I think that I'm ready, and I'm ready to, hopefully win the match.
Now, he's the lone wolf. How is...
I'll stop it there. Just a brief example. He used to just sound like a normal guy. And again, if you're hiring him for a cameo, you may not want just the normal guy, but I don't feel like we ever see the normal guy anymore.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that in my experience with Rick, and of course, I did not go to plumb crazy with all of the horsemen and etc. and do all of that stuff. Everybody knows that was not my thing. But I traveled with Flair. When he was the booker, I was riding the car with him and Kevin. I've been in restaurants, nice restaurants with Flair and Cleopatra, his ex-wife. I've been in CNN Center and even in meetings with Jim Hurd, who he really wanted to come over the table and just fucking gouge his eyes out. Traveling around in hotels, whatever, he was dressed. He looked the fucking part. He was the world champion. He was polite. He was professional. Especially, like you said, this wasn't a wrestling appearance that you just played. It was on TNN just talking about the upcoming pay-per-view. So he wasn't flipping the fuck out. He looked like a professional athlete. And that's the experience that I had. And it dawned on me, and then we'll get into the cameos here that he's been doing. But it dawned on me that Flair made not only a fortune, but also established himself as the greatest wrestler in the ring of all time to so many people, trying to be Ray Stevens. But when he retired, he should have started trying to be Nick Bockwinkel. But he's still trying to be Ray Stevens. And there's a reason that Ray Stevens wasn't even being Ray Stevens really to the end, and he was only 60 or whatever. Can you imagine if Flair had adopted the Bockwinkel path, the dress nice, the hair in place, the yes, sir,
that's the way he was. See, that's the way he was. I heard Ric Flair say yes, sir, in like interviews with like real people, not like wrestling.
Real people and a woman.
Not yet. Well, real women broadcasters, not people like we just heard on TNN, not on wrestling. He used to be very polite and he knew what he should be. And now he appears to be completely fucking unhinged. And, you know, you bring up the cameo thing. We almost talked about this before our break. Because that day that we last recorded, someone sent me this first thing with no audio. Just a review that someone left. And I thought it was so funny, and we figured let's wait. We're about to go to break. And then audio came out, and we'll talk about that too. But, Jim, the first thing we saw was a review for a Ric Flair cameo on November 26, 2025, left by Anonymous.
And I guess, by the way, we should just mention that cameos are where people pay money for the celebrity in question to do a video and send it to them per their specifications, just for everybody to keep them up.
Well, here's the review. This may be the video, we'll check, but here's the review. Yo, I paid $600 for Rick to sit in a restaurant, blast it out of his mind, and say my dad's name wrong.
God damn it.
I paid for him to say Merry Christmas to my father, Buff. He called him Barf.
Merry Christmas, Barf.
He called him Barf and just read the instructions word for word. I'm super disappointed. I spent money on this. I would have got someone who would actually put in the effort for $600. To a regular person, that's a lot of money. I'm not going to give a Christmas video to my father with his hero calling him Barf. Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
I haven't heard do you have the audio on that? Because I haven't heard that one. I've heard the other one.
I don't know. This one says he found the video. Is this the right one? Not even the same video, so no, it's not.
Oh, okay, well, there's more.
Well, yeah, so that's the Barf incident. So we heard about Barf, and then you can go.
The one that I saw, I'm thinking maybe is the one that you've got, is he's supposed to say happy wedding, congratulations to whoever the fellow is, and he spends like a minute and a half on, why the fuck would you get married? What the fuck's the matter with you? And meaning it.
Well, again, we have the audio. We'll play that in a second. We should probably read the review first because it'll explain the issues before you hear it. But also, it's important to note, not everyone's you. You took it very serious and had very popular cameos in your home office in a quiet setting. But we've seen other people, seemingly they needed a quiet setting. They went to their car. Like, they did what they could to deliver for like $50, whatever it was, a cameo to someone in a professional way. So you pay $600, or this person said actually it was $1,000.
They would go somewhere where you would have at least a private phone call, not just in the middle of a goddamn county fair. Go ahead.
Well, this review here from April. After spending nearly $1,000 to have someone my brother admired enough to have tattooed on him, wish him luck on his wedding, I would have expected Rick to at least browse through the notes ahead of time, not read it word for word the first time, and most definitely not to tell him he's making a mistake. And to remain a GF because he was so fucked up he could barely speak right. What would have been a great gift ended up being the worst thing he's ever been gifted. Unbelievable. 1-star review. So let's
well, at least she didn't give it no stars.
Let's go to the audio in question, Jim. Here's Ric Flair on Cameo. I don't know where he is. There's a lot of people in the background.
It's a bar of some description. He's just sitting there holding his own phone, looking at it with people at the bar milling around and having conversations in the background.
To my man Eric.
And I was with
From Tina.
Evan and all that.
Fam. And the military boy. Woo! I guess it's a beautiful gift. I'm not sure why. Oh, bachelor gift. Gotcha, man. Eric has a tattoo of your famous. Woo! Hey guys, Eric, so many women do. So many do. Now he's getting married. Oh my God. Why would you get married, motherfucker? It's the worst possible commitment you could do. Because as of the day you get married, 50% of everything is hers. I don't care how beautiful she is. Stay her girlfriend. His family, Tina, and the military boys want to wish him the best of luck. Man says diamonds are forever, and so is Ric Flair. And that's the God's honest truth, brother. I'm a diamond. I'm forever. I've overstayed my welcome. And my name.
What was that? I've overstayed my welcome. Truer words may have never been spoken.
I've heard him say, you know, diamonds are forever in promos for years. I never heard, I am a diamond.
And I am forever, and he has arrived, and he is here.
Again, not everyone can be you in terms of the effort that they put into a cameo. You really took a lot of care in making sure that
don't just put, because I'm not even selling. As a matter of fact, you're plugging something I don't even do anymore, but that's the reverse of this is why I don't do them. Because what I did was I had Hotchkiss, guy said, go out and get the #1 phone, the best phone to do the videos. We have a Cameo phone, right? That's all it's ever been used for. And we found the place in the office where the lighting was perfect and we got the audio down and et cetera. And he got the hang of uploading them and sending them to the Cameo people because, you know, I wasn't going to do that. And we treated it like a goddamn day of local promos. And we put 50 on sale and he would come in with a stack of 50 sheets of paper with the instructions on it. And we'd go one by one instead of, okay, this is Charlotte, this is Atlanta, this is Greensboro. It'd be like, okay, this is for little Ned. He's getting over his hernia surgery. There's Farquhar. He's just recently moved to a desert island in the South Pacific, whatever. And I would give everybody at least 2 minutes because it was $150, which I thought was a lot of money. But it's an 8-hour day to do 50 of them. Hotchkiss even got me the music stand so I could do notes like this is for so-and-so and from so-and-so. And, oh, he's fat or whatever. And put the notes on. So I was, well, because they would give me a description or what they wanted me to say about somebody. But sometimes it would be, hey, my brother Pismo's a big fan, roast him. I don't know what he looks like, how old he is, where he lives, what he does for a living. You try doing 2 minutes on that. And I'm looking for props around the office to bring in and shit and whatever the fuck. And finally, at the end of an 8-hour day, I would say, goddamn, I'm mentally exhausted. I could make the same amount of money if I just spent this day writing my next book in the long run. And I didn't want to just charge ridiculous amounts of money for just a video message, but goddamn, that's why I don't do them anymore, because they were too hard. Rick's taking them too easy.
Here's one that got a 3-star review from September. Ric Flair in a car. Let's go to this.
Oh no, not driving.
Woo, happy birthday smell that comes from Osseo Bio. Nature Boy's playground. Woo! I've strutted through steel cages, danced with danger, and kissed the canvas more times than you'll blink your eyes. You think you're ready for hand-to-hand combat with the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun on the steps of democracy? Oh.
What in the world is
the bigger man? Happy birthday, Dell, from Woo, the Nature Boy. God bless. Stay strong and keep making the girls go woo all night long.
That got a 3-star review, and he has cuts all over his face in every one of these videos, just weird cuts. Here's Ric Flair outdoors. Let's see what this one is.
Woo! To Chris and Leanna from Dad and Heidi. Congratulations. Getting married. It's phenomenal. I think that's the most awesome thing you could possibly do. My son, Chris.
Oh, let me stop it there. That's a complete about face from the other video.
Well, I like the cameo, no pun intended, from the guy that walked by. Woo, there's Ric Flair.
Got more woos from other people in these videos so far than from Rick.
He's married the love of his life, Leanna. That's really important. The love of his life. That is absolutely a beautiful way to put it. He's been a wrestling fan all his life and has been to 5 WrestleManias, including your match with Shawn Michaels.
What?
In Orlando.
Oh,
well, I appreciate all that, man.
His match. I didn't know whose match.
Please wish them a happy marriage.
He's reading the instructions.
He's just reading.
It's like insert slot B into tab A.
Turn over now.
Through life as they tie the knot. God bless you both. Dad, thanks for reaching out to me. I haven't been very successful in marriage. Doesn't mean you can't be.
Oh, there you go.
I was traveling all the time doing what I do. But the only thing I can do is wrestle. You guys have got a great opportunity to have a great marriage and a great life. Love and respect you. Dad and Heidi, thanks for reaching out. Chris and Leanna, stay strong, get married, be faithful, love each other, and Chris, make Leanna go woo every day of the week.
All right, that wasn't too terrible.
I was about to say, what poisoned him between now and then on the marriage
That
principle?
was June. Sometime after June, he was like, fuck marriage, don't do it, they get half. They'll take half. You get divorced as many times as he does, he gets a lot of halves. And one last one we'll play, because these are the official ones, I guess, that he uses as an example.
These are the demos.
This is one for a pep talk. Here's a Ric Flair pep talk.
He was about to give it to her, actually.
Adrian, Nature Boy here, man. Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, limousine riding, and private jet flying. My friend Adrian has been having a tough week. He's a hard-working guy who owns several small businesses and some haters are giving him some shit. Well, tell them to kiss your ass. Would you encourage him and tell him he is loved? Which obviously you are by your brother Wade.
Would you encourage him? Would you? There's the past part of there's a participle dangling here somehow. Grammatically, this is not working out.
Oh, there's a little more of the pep talk here.
Your family, your friends, cook great steaks, and they're great at video games. My brother, look at this shit from everybody else in life. life, we own our life. We own our world. Unless they can kick your ass, tell them to go fuck themselves. God bless you, brother. Stay strong. Keep being a
That's what
man.
God always says. That's what God always says. Go fuck yourself. Why are there always plates and bottles clinking in the background?
And other people doing woo in the background. It happened there again at the end. There were like two different women who obviously did it in the background.
But that's what I'm saying. Even if you possibly have not been overserved, the idea probably is not to do a cameo that you've been paid a lot of money for in a public restaurant with people around you doing backup woos.
I'm looking here. Like, again, these are the preview videos. One of them says other. And like a lot of them, like they begin with a shot of his face. He's filming himself, obviously. This one, it's a shot of the bar the other way, so you just see like where the drinks go. Although let me just click this just to see what it is.
Snacks. I'm like, okay, no carbs today.
Y'all are all snacks all the time.
Can I get when you have to walk?
Woo-wee! Tom Lang. And it's your boy. Comes from Brandon, Chris, and Andrew. And of course myself. Tom 66. Just finished cancer treatment. He's celebrating the 4th of July with family in Frankfort, Mississippi. Tom is a lifelong fan. Loves your classic woo.
See, that's what's so, you're paying for him to read back to you.
He should even say he loves my classic woo, but loves your classic woo.
I wonder if there's a way to like game the system. Like if you want to actually gift someone a Ric Flair message, like the way you word it so that he reads it back so that it actually sounds like he's saying it as opposed to...
You write his script for it. Well, but that didn't work out on the first one, I don't think.
I feel like he mentions the people who paid for it more than the people receiving it.
Well, and speaking of which, we say Ric Flair is suing people because his weed company went sideways. And somebody... Does Rick have managers, agents, handlers of various kinds doing his business? Or is he just getting into these things by himself? And you think maybe somebody in the family might say, Rick, don't over imbibe and send out public videos.
I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to smoke this Panama Red. Woo!
But I mean, is everybody in his immediate family and social circle just worried about the profitability of the projects and the enterprises he's getting into, and not whether he's making himself look bad in public or not?
You know, again, you brought up Bockwinkel earlier. Bockwinkel didn't need a handler. You know, he was a responsible guy. Who knows what he did in his private time? I'm not saying, you know, anything like he didn't have fun.
Well, no, he was, and a lot of people are going to say this. So let's say no, Nick Bockwinkel didn't have weed companies and vodka companies coming after him in his, you know, golden retirement years either. But that's the point I'm making, is that Nick Bockwinkel is kind of like what a grown-up Ric Flair would have been. Ray Stevens was his first half of his life, and Bockwinkel would in the second half. But instead, Rick's just gone full Stevens.
I always thought it would have been old man Buddy Rogers.
Well, same principle. The fucking nice suits and everything's all in place and very smooth speaking, except Bockwinkel was really a lot more intelligent. I won't say a lot more educated and articulate person than Buddy Rogers was, but the look, the same thing.
Say that to my face, Pally.
Well, Pally.
Well, there's the Ric Flair cameo story. Obviously, it's a great deal for those of you looking for a Ric Flair experience. Apparently priced between $600 and $1,000 based on personal video, $500 plus. I guess there are caveats. But if you want to book a business video, it's $10,000.
Jesus Christ! Does that cover the going out of business sale expenses?
See, how would you do that for a business? Because you can't really play that in a meeting, and it's just him drunk in a bar reading what you wrote him. Your quarterly reports were great. Everything's looking good.
I've gone over your finances myself and everything. There's nothing to worry about. I don't know how you would get $10,000 of value for your business out of it unless your business was goddamn vodka. And even then, maybe that might not be good for your vodka business. Oh, shit, we don't want to look like that.
Well, we'll see what happens with Ric Flair and his various business enterprises. Of course, this is his own. This is Cameo, and we'll see what happens.
This is... Anyway, if somebody can give Rick some advice on when he should not be on camera, that would be preferable. Because you know what it does, Brian? The whole thing, it just stinks. The whole situation just stinks out loud. You know what else stinks out loud? A lot of people these days. Have you noticed this, that a lot of people stink these days? I'm not talking about their attitude or their personality. I'm talking about the actual odoriferousness of them that you can smell coming down the road. You can smell it.
Well, it depends where you go.
Well, no, they're everywhere now. Because it's become it's like an epidemic. The BO epidemic of 2025 is now spread into 2026, but somebody's trying to do something about it, Brian, and you know as well as I do, it's our friends at Mando. Mando is trying to do something about this because everybody makes New Year's resolutions. You're going to work out. You're going to learn to speak some kind of language. You're going to lose weight, whatever. But one resolution that people have that is right within their reach right now is to smell better naked. And that's what the people at Mando are trying to help people do. Because, again, Brian, if you've got clothes on, then that can muffle some of the wafting of the stench. But if you're walking around naked, and even though it's wintertime, there are warmer climates. If you're walking around naked and a breeze comes up the right direction, it can catch that shit and you can clear out a public park. Esme, you've seen some of the video on the internet now of people walking down the street naked, minding their own business, and suddenly everybody in the park just starts running. That's because they caught a breeze and it wafted the wrong way, and whoo, the from under smell from under the balls and next to the taint, that'll run you right out of the place.
There was an article in the paper this morning about a naked bandit they caught on camera, like daytime, just running around naked, robbing people's houses.
Yes. And how do you think he's going to feel if the cops catch him and haul him down there and on his mugshot it clearly says arrested for robbery and stinking bad? You don't want that to be your legacy or your reputation, folks. And the Mando is a whole body deodorant that's safe to use all over your body. The pits, the balls, the thigh folds, the belly buttons, the butt cracks, the feet, the inner ear. A lot of people have stanky ears.
Not the inner ear. Let's stay to the outer parts of the body that you just named there before.
Well, no, and then I was going to say, what smells the worst? Usually, if you take this solid deodorant stick and just shove it right in, well, you can pull it back and you'll be covered up where your poops will smell like pretty flowers.
Okay, once again, pits, balls, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, and feet. Safe to use anywhere on your body.
Yes, and once again,
on your body, not in your body.
The difference in on or in. How far do you have to go in a cave before that you're really in it rather than just adjacent? This is created by a doctor, and he ought to know better. Who saw first?
Listen, this is created by a doctor, Jim. You're saying the truth here now.
Yes, created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And some of these doctors said, fuck, those underarms, we can't do anything. They have to literally take your flesh off because they can't get the stench out of your flesh on your underarms. And then you've really got armpits with no skin under there.
You're being
misdiagnosed. No longer do you have to have this stuff being lopped off, folks. Because Mando is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. There was one incident where odor escaped after 2 nights because the guy turned his back. But Mando will send you this product and also a guy to keep an eye out for the odor.
Nope.
So he'll be watching you for 3 days.
No one's watching you, and they do not send anyone out. They trust the U.S. Postal
come
Service.
And give you the stick. When you get this stick, the solid deodorant stick that you know means that you're going to be palatable to a majority of human beings who are not going to retch and vomit when you walk into their social circle. It's formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. That's an acid that Nelson Mandela invented in prison.
That is not what that is. No, it is not.
You've heard of a lot of the people that are in prison for years. They study in the library to become lawyers. Well, he studied to become a stench doctor where you formulate the mandelic acid.
None of that is true, ladies and gentlemen. But why don't we talk about the variety of fresh scents like burp and
that's
leather?
right, because a spray deodorant, not the solid deodorant stick, but the spray deodorant they have is aluminum free. That means you won't end up looking like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz, and it's ideal for hard to reach places. We're going back there again: caves, grottos.
Grottos.
All the grottos in some places. It depends on how you take care of yourself if you've got grottos. All products are baking soda free, so don't try to make biscuits out of this son of a bitch because it will not work. And paraben free. And as soon as we figure out what paraben is, we'll tell you. But you can choose from a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Pro Sport, and Mr. Fuji. I don't know why you'd want to smell like Mr. Fuji. He kind of had a little.
That says Mount Fuji, not Mr. Fuji.
Oh, Mount Fuji. I thought it was Mr. Fuji had a little. He had a little odor to him every once in a while after the matches, usually. But boy, this is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. And when they let you add water, the soap does work better, but just soap alone ain't going to get you very far. But 12 hours after a shower, Brian, I'll have you know that the average man's grundle odor level is a 5 out of 10. Now that grundle odor, that's named after, of course, a compatriot of ours, Brian Solomon, aka Solomon Grundy. He's had an issue with this for quite some time. That's why most of the relatives in his family pictures, their eyes are watering.
That is not true, and this has nothing to do with him. I don't know why he decided to defame other people that were friends with him today.
Well, he's fixed it now. When he came up with the grundle odor scale, now with Mando, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10, 12 hours after a shower. Even a goddamn bloodhound couldn't smell you hiding in a mulberry bush. So right now, if you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant, where you can just slather this on from head to toe, and then you can have people throwing monkey shit at you, and it won't stink. It won't stick or stink. It'll fall right off, and you won't get any on you.
People are going to throw the monkey shit, not the monkeys?
Well, the people that throw the monkey shit, they're going to have some on their hands. But if they put some Mando on their hands before they start flinging the monkey shit, then their hands will be clean too. You can find the Mando products in Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, you can go to shopmando.com. That's spelled just like Chavo Guerrero's brother's name, M-A-N-D-O, shopmando.com. And don't mask your scent, Mando it. They're not just going to cover it up, they're going to get rid of it. You will not be able to even smell yourself. If you stick your head between your legs and fart in your face, you won't be able to smell it after you use this Mando. Just go right now to shopmando.com. For a limited time, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. At that code, and I'll tell you that code right now so you'll know it, JCE.
Yeah.
20% off and free shipping on the whole damn shooting match over there at shopmando.com. 20% off and free shipping. Support our show. Tell them we sent you. Stop smelling. Some of you people could gag a maggot off a gut wagon. That's not what we're going for. We need you presentable, especially when the Egyptians come to take Flair away.
Joe Tessa snore puts me to sleep. I'm so sorry. End of a big feud match, and you.
All right, friends, it's T-Man, and Blaha is doing a live. We're going to react to it. Let's see what he has to say here. So Blaha says, Renee, good. Even civilians could have defended against her, Jason Blaha. Yeah. Jason Blaha is judge, jury, and, I don't know, whatever, convictioner.
There we go. I think we're live here, too, on the tubes. Finally, it took forever to load. The Facebook is up. So that took forever to load on YouTube. All right, let me get this live knocked out, then I'm going to get back to making memes, and I got some client sheets to do.
Oh, he's got some client shoots to do, yeah. He's doing some client shoots. Get it? He's going to do some client shoots.
I got a client at a meet today, so we'll have up some stuff for that later. But hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Just thought I would sit down and do this. Make sure we are public on the YouTube. All right, so it's coming along. It's a little slow at the moment. Might not have hit feeds. I don't think anyone was expecting me to be in here. So there we go. A few people in.
Yeah, blah.
The topic I'm going to start off today. Now that we have all this footage, and we have the footage from the officer who fired.
Now that we have all this footage, yes, the officer that fired, yes.
As a civilian where I live, I could have fired at that point. So we need to understand.
You could have fired at a civilian. Blaha could have fired at a civilian where he's at. Well, if you're coming up to a car, right, and you're grabbing somebody's private property, that person has a right to defend themselves by driving off from the scene. Now, none of these people identified themselves when they came towards their car. None of them identified themselves as police, ICE, or whoever the hell they were. They just started coming up to her car. And as far as I know, she wasn't detained, under arrest, or detained by the police. So she's a free citizen, man. She wasn't detained or under arrest or anything like that. And they never said she was under arrest. The guy simply came up to the car and he put his hand on the car, tried to open the car. She feared for her life, so she fled, fearing for her life. Now, can you ask her that question? It's kind of obvious she was fleeing for her life. But we cannot ask her. Want to know why? Because the cop took away her right to defend herself. So we are going to have to use cameras now to figure out what happened. So it's kind of obvious she fled in fear of her life because that guy went towards her car rapidly, tried to open the door. Now, doesn't matter whether he's a cop or ICE. He does not have the right to touch her property and open her door. See what I mean?
Yeah, this is not even the police's extra power or use of force. We have to be absolutely clear. When you look at that camera.
Yeah, you can't make up facts after the scene. When they showed the camera, they showed her dropping off somebody and then turning around. She delayed there for a few seconds because it looked like a group of I don't know, people in costumes started coming towards her car. When they came towards her car, one of them put their hand on the car and tried to forcibly open it. So what would you do? What would you do in that case if somebody came and grabbed your property and tried to open the door? And you fearing for your life, and them carrying a gun, you fearing for your life because they can shoot you, right? They have a gun, they can shoot you, and guess what they did? They shot her, right? As she feared for her life and tried to flee, right, for her life, right, to save her life, they shot her because they have a gun. See how it works, man? Now let's see what Blaha is going to come up with.
She was being aggressive.
How was she being aggressive? She was in a car sitting there. She just dropped somebody off. You saw them leave on the sidewalk, and she turned around because there was a car in the way. She had to weave around that car because it was blocking the road.
Both of them were being aggressive towards that person. So let's say this was just you or I on the street. I'm talking about if you live in a place where you have carry rights. I'm not talking about in the People's Republic of England or any of this. I'm talking about here.
She wasn't carrying a gun. There was no guns on her. They were carrying a gun.
Okay, let us be clear. Let us be clear.
Yes, let us be clear.
In that situation, I would have dropped a whole magazine and I would have slept in my own bed that night.
Blaha would have dumped his whole magazine on her and would have slept good. So Blaha would run up to somebody's car, try to open it, and the person, fearing for their life, would flee, and Blaha would shoot them to death, and then he would be able to go home and sleep sound in his bed. Yeah, okay.
And here's the reason why.
Yes, what's the reason why, Blaha? I'd love to know.
Try to, David, I'll show you this meme I made, and then you tell me.
Yeah.
You tell me if I heard it or not. And that's the point we're about to go to.
Blaha's a meme in himself. Look at him.
Meme I made earlier today.
You're a meme, dude.
I even got Drive Baby Drive in it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, they were being verbally aggressive with the person. Hell, let's set aside the fact he's a police officer. Let's say
they were verbally being aggressive. You can verbally say whatever you want. It's a free country. You can say whatever you want from the window of your car. You could say anything.
This is me, or you, or anyone else who can legally carry in a place where we have a right to defend ourselves.
So she has the right then to legally carry too and shoot? So because she wasn't carrying, she wasn't armed, let's say the guy tried to put his hand on her property, try to open her car forcibly. Remember, they cannot do that. Does she have the right to shoot the officer? Why didn't she shoot him then? See what I mean? The only recourse of action she had was to flee for her life. Because they're carrying a gun, they could shoot her, they could kill her. Police are known to kill people for no reason, and they did. They shot her. You understand me? They were never hit by the car. They tried to open the car. They shot her.
Verbally aggressive. Verbally aggressive.
Again, verbally aggressive. That is not a reason for shooting somebody to death. Blaha. They will put, especially you, they'll put your bald head in jail. That is not a cause to shoot somebody because they're verbally aggressive. I feared for my verbally aggressive life. Yeah, okay.
Right? Bumps them with the car while the other's trying to drive. At that moment,
she didn't bump anybody. She was leaving. There was a car in front of her. It was blocking the road. She was trying to get around it.
The moment that car bumped me and she is still behind the wheel, I don't care if she's driving.
Wait a second. If a car bumps you and you're behind the wheel, you're going to go out and shoot somebody. You're not going to exchange your insurance? What are you talking about? Blah is insane, isn't he?
Yards away.
Oh, yeah.
Do we understand this at this point?
No, I don't.
I've now been assaulted with a vehicle, which is a deadly weapon.
You were assaulted. What were you doing there? Maybe it was an accident. What were you doing there? Were you trying to assault the person? You're carrying a gun. They feared for their life. So they bumped you because you were going to shoot them because you have a gun. You're carrying a gun, dude. They have no gun.
I can dump my whole mag through that windshield.
See, Blaha, he just wants to shoot somebody. But Blaha doesn't want to be shot himself. See that? He wants to shoot other people. He wants to be able to carry a gun and shoot people. But he doesn't want them to carry a gun and shoot the shit out of him. His ugly bald head. As target practice. Look at that bullseye on his chest.
There's not a
Wait, what?
You know what we're gonna do to you? That's gonna be you when we're done with you. You know what we're gonna do to you with this machine?
gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today in RMS, we're going to be watching TikTok videos about the legendary rally champion itself, Subaru. We got a pro in Bill Mahoney. He has an extensive collection of Subarus and owns his own shop and works on these bad boys. So we're going to see if good when you maintain them or there's something to stay away from. First clip. You hear it though already.
Oh yeah.
You hear it. The homie's all happy, like, yeah. Oh, he even heard it too.
Man, I don't know how. But what are they rated for? Like, no one I'm pushing. But the thing is that people like launch them and that's when they break. Yeah.
Well, Playboy, you're just grinding those gears.
Yeah, they
There it is.
There it is.
Classic Subaru drivers too. Look at that, they're both wearing collared shirts. They're all uneven. No one's telling them how to dress except their mom in 8th grade. And they're still taking her advice. I love it.
Do you think he was taking them out for a test drive or they knew that this trainer was giving out? Because I could hear it grinding all the way.
He thought he was a great driver and he was going to push through the grinding.
Right.
And yeah, you could hear it. But if you looked in the notes too, the car says 2004. So it's a 2004 WRX, which has probably seen more than its share of, let's just launch it right here.
Is it repairable? Like, would you repair it? Because when they blow up and they fuck shit up. So I tell them, hey, let's replace it with a new one or a used one at this hand, right? But do you really find good used ones on the 5-speed?
If it was smashed from behind, you can pretty much guarantee that it's a 50-50.
Right.
If it's all good and it's in the junkyard, it's probably 80% that's not a good transmission.
Got you. So it's not like your typical Honda, you're like, oh, that Chinese pretty good.
It's like having a piece of candy from Halloween left over still around Christmas time. It's probably not going to make it. If it's any good, it's not going to make it to Christmas time. It'll be done.
So it's better off just rebuild or new?
Or just find, you know what, you could always get one and then wait it out. But if you're doing performance anyway, you might as well just go to the junkyard, get yourself a case, and then throw the gearing in there. But that's still going to cost you around $7,500. It just depends on what you're going to do. Some people like the 5-speed because you're not doing as much rowing. You know, you're not doing all the shifting all the time. And the first gear's got a great ratio, so people love it for takeoffs in the 5-speed. Whereas the first in the 6-speed, you have to shift really quickly. It's got very little
gears.
Yeah, like very little
fast.
room.
Oh, got you. RPMs like go fast.
Yeah, and you're already shifting into second. You might as well even just start in second.
Gotcha.
You know, depend.
So with that said and done, wow, that's expensive.
We at Donut love cars in any condition, and we do have a soft spot for some less than desirable examples. Cars that might have otherwise been forgotten and given up on. And thanks to today's sponsor, Valvoline Restore and Protect, we're able to keep our fleet running longer and stronger. Valvoline Restore and Protect is great to use on cars that have, seen some things. It removes up to 100% of engine-killing deposits. It's like heart medicine for your car. And that's not all. Valvoline Restore and Protect delivers 79% stronger anti-wear protection than the industry standard, maximizing your loved ride's life. Valvoline Restore and Protect cleans your pistons and keeps your engine in tip-top shape. Now she's got a little bit more pep in her step. If you love cars, you'll love Valvoline Restore and Protect. Click the link below to learn more.
For the people out there that don't know you, can you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I got a place called the Subaru Coupe. I've been collecting these cars for 15 years now and working on them.
Oh, nice.
So I've got intimate knowledge from the 60s all the way up to 2024.
Oh, yeah, so you guys know. Need them? Hit them up. Next clip.
So check this out.
17 Subaru Legacy. Battery is stone dead. Car is in neutral. Will not allow me to put it in park while the battery is dead. If I let off the brake, the car rolls. So I physically cannot take my foot off the brake or I will crash into the car at the bottom of the hill.
And he's recording.
I have to hop out of my car fast enough to turn the angles on to get back in this car to hop on the brake before the car rolls up into the Audis. While holding a camera, let's see if I can do it. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Look at that. There it goes in. Yeah.
And now it's running. We can put the emergency brake on.
Hey, that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch. But he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, it was.
All he had to do was
service.
watch this maneuver. Watch this maneuver I'm going to do. The Subaru manual right here. You had to just reach across, get this out. Here we go. Let's look. Oh, shift lock. Let's see if the index has something that says anything about shift lock. Yes, it does. It says page 377. So we go to 377, and lo and behold, here we have right here a little in the 2024. If you just lift up some of the stuff down in front of the shifter, it's got a little button that you depress. Subaru's had that button since the early 80s. You press that button down and you can move the shifter anywhere you want.
You know what I was gonna say? I don't think he's a Subaru guy.
No.
Because if he was a Subaru guy, he would have immediately been like, hey, you know what? There's a different way to do this. Or I'll Google this right quick.
No, that's the thing. That's the design thing of Subaru. You make it your own. And there's so many different things to do something. Like if you want to put in a kill switch, there's a little space that they have that you can put in your own kill switch in the panel on the dash. It's got an opening, just a little opening that you can put it in.
Oh, nice.
So the Subaru is always asymmetrical, always you buy into the car. So it's what you make of it.
So this is more like owners not knowing about their cars.
Yeah, that was definitely an owner problem more than a Subaru problem.
So it's not a Subaru problem.
Nah.
There you go, guys. This next clip comes from our friends, Mighty Car Mods.
Tell me when. 3, 2,
Quick
1,
break.
go. Oh, that was a launch. It's not a bit of clutch, sorry, that's clutch. Listen, driver. That's all scrub. That's all scrub. I'm not gonna do it, man. I'm not gonna do it. No, it's gonna rip your bumper off. It's not really. Go. You can still do this. The car's dead, is why I stopped. Oh, it thinks we got hijacked. It's dead.
The guy says, I don't want to do it. And the car says, I definitely don't want to do it.
Shut the door. Now you put that key.
Herbie the Subaru doesn't want to do it.
Yep, so you got nothing, so you put our code in. Nope. Try again. No, nothing.
Wow.
Keys in, now keys on.
So you're telling me Subarus have mood swings?
Well, yeah. Well, here's the deal, right? These guys are upside down. They're in Australia, right? These are Aussies.
That's really disappointing.
Australia is a place that wants to kill you. But what I think this really is, I've got a 1989 Justy. Someone broke into the side in between 1 and 4 in the afternoon, took a screwdriver, opened up the passenger door, got in, took that screwdriver and proceeded to bash out the ignition switch so that they could start it. When they were doing that, they kicked the ECU, the computer. And when they did that, the car thought that it was in an accident. So it blows the fuse. So this is back in 89. So technology wasn't all that good. That's what they could do back then. Now what I'm thinking is he didn't secure his ECU, or his immobilizer is also not secured.
That makes sense.
That's probably causing that issue where it thinks that it's either been in an accident, so I'm going to cut off the fuel pump. You know, now we're just going to cut that off so it doesn't go. And you sort of noticed he was sort of idling and then came down and then stalled.
Maybe, like you said, he didn't secure the ECU and it moved, turned off, and they didn't want to crank over anymore.
Or the immobilizer just had a bad electricity circuit going.
Yeah.
We've removed the immobilizer. Subaru says you can't, this car won't start without the immobilizer, but.
Or just had one of those bad days. Subaru said that day, that we're going to the track, but we're not running. Let's see the next clip. That's crazy. You know what? I was going to buy one, and it was doing that. The guy was like, that's normal.
We used to do that with STP and gum out in the old Fords from the 70s to clean everything out. You used to put that in and just make a bunch of smoke coming out.
But is that,
this is different.
Are Subarus notorious for this?
There was a problem with the head gaskets when they first came out. They had 2 different types of gaskets, and they had multi-layer steel, which was all 3 layers of steel. And then they had another one with steel in the center and rubber on the outside, or vinyl PVC on the outside. And that is the one that had the problem. So then after that, after like 2006, 2007, they had a service bulletin. I don't know if they did an actual recall on it, except for maybe the STIs. but I know that they didn't do it for the rest of the cars. But then they said, all right, from now on, multi-layer steel.
Gotcha.
So whenever you get a Subaru head gasket, make sure it says MLS, and that's multi-layer steel. So another problem with the head gaskets are the grounding straps that come in and ground to the engine from the body. If those don't work, then the computer's getting a different signal and it's getting a different electricity message than the battery. So, or it's getting the battery signal message instead of the alternator signal message. And so I fixed one of those just by doing that, and that was Glendale of Subaru said, oh yeah, there's a 2009 Subaru, you're definitely that's a head gasket problem. So it's sort of the go-to solution for a lot of them, and I'm not saying that all of them aren't head gaskets, there probably are, but the way to check that is look in the oil. If the oil looks like Yoo-Hoo, that's how you know.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yoo-Hoo.
Yeah.
I miss you.
I miss Yoo-Hoo too.
What's the cause for this head gasket to blow out, mainly on this one?
Well, it's poor heat management by the engine, and a lot of the older Subarus, like sort of 98 all the way up to 2009, had this design where the thermostat's all the way at the bottom of the engine, so all the cool water sits down there. So it almost never opens up. So what you get is on the bottom half of the engine, it's all nice and cool. On the top half, it's all hot because that thermostat hasn't yet opened. Okay. And so that causes that problem where you've got a different heat up top than on the bottom of that head, and that begins to warp it. So the bottom is cold, which is going to be all the molecules tightly held together. The top is going to be hot, so it's going to expand. And so you have this expansion and this sort of contraction or staying still, and that warps the heads over time.
So check your heat, guys. Next clip.
It's Friday here for you folks. 2011 Subaru came in with a complaint of an oil leak, and it's not the head gaskets, if you can imagine that. However, the oil pump used to sit right here, and now it sits right here on the bench, and you can see that the seal is pushing itself out. Now, the crank gear is taking the liberty to chew it up.
Yeah.
You can see where it's been grinding on there.
Mhm.
Make sure if you run across one of these, and you see the seals pushed out, you don't just put a seal in it, but you take the pump out, and you'll start to find that the bolts.
See, look at that.
The bolts are just coming off loose.
Oh yeah.
Because it's pressing in and giving it space.
Nah.
No?
No.
Explain.
And push.
There's no Subaru. There's no Subaru numbers. There's no Subaru boomerang on there. I think that's an aftermarket part. We had this problem. Dan Benoit, my pro, had this problem at Whiskey Row in Arizona, and he actually has the oil pump on his desk to show. Don't buy parts from. That's what he says. It's true. If you buy an aftermarket part like that, and especially one there, you see what happens. And this is also the problem with people try and cheap out and get the things from the local stores, not a parts store. Like if you go to a professional parts store, they might be supplying Subaru. I'm just gonna say either one, that's a defective Subaru part, or two, it's an aftermarket part like the one that we got.
It does look like it says Subaru Japan right here.
All right, so it's a defective part. I stand corrected.
It is what it is. No, but you made a good point.
It's the same. That is the same problem with the aftermarket parts. And when we've had that problem before in our shop, and so it'll happen.
Next clip. Showing off to the boys.
Yeah. Look at that Baja next to him. It's not even the turbo Baja. Ooh, you hear that turbo doesn't sound very good. Ooh, Bo, that's it. You heard that.
Are they flagging? That was flagging them or what? That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks.
It does suck, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm almost positive. The last one your crew busted me on that it was a Subaru part. I'm going to bet dollars to donuts, and I'd love a donut, that is a Chinese aftermarket turbo that he put on because it was bigger. And he probably saw it on eBay. And look at that. And if you look at where he was, that's sort of, the oil is sort of on the passenger side and then spills into the middle. The way that sounded, did you hear that? Like,
Yeah.
it sounded like a fan being blown apart inside of a metal case.
Sounded like a Subaru.
That can happen.
Sound like a Subaru. You know what? I used to
still drove.
I used to be intimidated by the Subarus because I used to street race a lot, and I had my Mitsubishi stereo on.
Ooh.
And this guy pulls up, and we start chopping it up, and he goes like, "Oh, do you want to street race?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And he goes like, "Hey, well, you want to run it? You know, my car is running good. This and that. It's like, it's so much power, blah blah blah." And I was like, "All right." And all I heard when he told me is like, all-wheel drive, and I wasn't really educated like that. And I didn't know what all-wheel drive. I felt like, is that like 2 turbos or what the f- is that? Like, what are we talking about? You know, the way this car took off.
Oh yeah,
it was amazing, but he lost to me because the top end, I was boosting like 26 pounds.
Okay.
I didn't give a f- really. I was like, I better win this motherfucking race no matter what. So when he launched, it was like amazing. Like it was sexy. Like I was mind blown. Like I'm like, how did he hook so good?
When you accelerate, the car has to go down a little bit. So
Correct.
if you have a rear wheel, the rear is going to pop down. So if you've already taken all that slack out, the only place for that power to go is forward.
Let's see. Evo or WRX?
What year?
2003.
Okay, well then the Evo.
Hey, the Subaru guy's
true. Yeah, Subaru is a king, but you know, there's all sorts of other people out there. It's a jungle, folks. It's a jungle.
It's such a jungle. Let's go to the next clip.
We're pulling this Subaru apart for its clutch job, and we seem to see what happened. There seems to be some sort of catastrophic failure of the friction disc. You can see some of it coming out there, and the fingers are uneven on the pressure plate. You can see the top portion of the frame right now. So its fingers sitting
That clutch was worn out.
Oh
my God.
And then if we look inside of the bell housing, it scrapes with crap all over the place, along with shards of material all over. Look at that.
Have you ever seen that?
I've actually had clutches when they blow up inside.
It looks like hay?
Yeah, and they don't want to come out because the hay goes inside the shaft.
Yes.
And it locks in.
I've never had fur. I've had the glazing, and it looked like it was going to be furry on the outside, but I've never had that much. Oh, I'm pulling apart my '89 Subaru Justy, and I drive it like a dick through the streets of Los Angeles. So I'm pretty sure I might have some hay in there. Yeah.
So this is just mainly wear and tear, or you blew it all out?
Yeah, and maybe not. Maybe they went with the budget clutch instead of the performance clutch. You could also get a stiffer clutch, and that would help.
Would you tell them to get a performance clutch, or would you tell them to get the same stock one again?
I would tell them to get a performance clutch if they did something like that, just to see, if we could get it to last 3 years instead of 1.
Next clip.
Ooh, FB or an FA. Oh, yeah. Bearings.
Sounds like a little maraca.
I don't know if you know this, but like some engines actually require oil inside of the engine.
We actually did
before you start it. Yeah, just not all cars apparently, but some do.
Okay, so when I hear a Subi guy and he just turns on his car and he starts revving it, I'm like, why? Can you let that shit just lubricate? Or any car in general, just let it lubricate first, and then you can rev it up.
Yeah, it's inspired by Subaru, because when you start Subarus, they'll jump up to 1500 right away. Even my new one, it'll stay at 1500 for about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Just hanging out up there. And so I guess after a while, I have tried to rev it up. All right, I'm ready. The car's been running, but they like the Subaru boxer engines like it at a high RPM. They don't mind it, but they do like oil, and that is the biggest killer of Subaru engines. Are people not checking their oil?
How many engines have you worked on to explode like this?
Well, there's 5 off the top of my head in the past 3 years. Put some oil. Get your EGR. Get your PCV.
Since you like Subaru so much, hopefully you like this next clip.
Over a crest and a big rock in the road.
Oh, I love this clip.
There was nothing to do. I mean, you couldn't avoid. You just went straight over it, and it's bent to bottom arm.
They couldn't remove the wheel, but had an amazing plan. Drive on the damaged suspension until the tire blew up. It worked.
Yes!
Listen,
Look, it was going down the
we
road
can't
like a
put the
dog,
spare
like a
wheel on.
stray dog, all
It's bent that
sideways.
bad. You can't straighten it.
Before they could change the wheel, they needed to straighten the track control arm, and the experts they consulted recommended that they use their initiative.
Don't go in.
Yes! That's a Subaru mechanic. Right there.
Just need 2 rocks.
The rough treatment worked, and the pair made it to the next control with seconds to spare. They picked up 2.5 minutes of time penalties, which dropped them to 5th place, but they were at least still in the rally. Incredibly, they set the quickest time on the next stage.
It was an improvement.
Actually,
Performance
it performed
improvement.
even better.
A Neanderthal can work on a Subaru. You saw that? He's taking a rock to straighten that thing out. You know, that's the control arm in the back. It's probably the front control arm. They've got 2 on the back. So if I'm the wheel, you would have this control arm coming down and a ball joint under there.
He knows how to dance.
And yeah, so it probably bent one of these, so they had to take it out. It looked like he was using a pipe wrench. It didn't even look like he had any,
he didn't know, no
any
equipment.
sockets or anything. He just took a pipe wrench, took that thing off, and then banged it with a rock. I mean, that's prehistoric. That shows you that Subarus are sort of an instinctual need for humans. Ever since the Stone Age, humans have wanted a Subaru.
Hey, didn't Subaru used to make planes? Or make planes?
Well, no, people will use their 6-cylinder engines in planes. So you get the SVX engine in a plane, and they used to use the XT6 engine in a plane because you have no timing gears going on. So it's just valves, and you just need to do the engine every once in a while. So you'll never, even if you break a valve or if you break a belt, it's not going to go, it's still going to continue.
And you can use a rock to fix the plane too.
Yeah. I like that. That'll fix that plane.
Next clip.
Because Shop Daddy Adam, professional race car driver, was headed out in high car, and he'd be able to smoke a 201, no problem.
The legend himself. Adam. Oops.
There's no third gear. Down the front straight, it's all
pops out.
Oh, no. It's gone.
Well, there seems to be a problem right there.
You see the way those things are up? When this starts flexing, the teeth now are in a different position because it's bowing up. So you've got the 2 gears next to each other. They were like this. Now one is up here doing that grinding. So it's just shearing off. You can see like where it just sheared off.
Yeah, you can see it right there where it just sheared it right off.
That's not a bad, and people say that's bad gearing or whatever, that the gearing, it can't handle it, but the other side took it off. So, I mean, those gears are actually taking each other off.
There they are.
So it's not really a matter of gearing, it's a matter of the flex.
So is it the 5-speed transmission that's more like they say like the glass transmission that breaks up, or is it the 6-speed?
The 5-speed is the one that will break, and that's obviously a 5-speed, and that's the problems you get because that's right in the center of that long shaft with the bearings that aren't really supporting it well enough.
That's what we had on the first clip, right?
Mm-hmm. And they solved that in the 6-speed. They've solved that problem.
They fixed that problem. So it's better off going from 5 to 6.
It's just if you're going to do any performance stuff, just go with the 6. Because even if you put in the 5, unless you're keeping it below 350 foot-pound torque, that's going to happen, after 2 years of use.
Bill, thank you for coming down.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
amazing. Thank you for your knowledge. So now you know. And if you guys like what we're doing, click here for another video, wherever they're at. This was RMS, baby. Deuces.